In the 1970s, California experienced a vigorous movement to promote the legalization of acupuncture. The social atmosphere in San Francisco was full of passion. At that time, people were very interested in this mysterious acupuncture that had always been full of public opinion.
In the late 1960s, the news that China announced the success of acupuncture anesthesia shocked the Western world. Some people believed it, while others questioned it. More people became interested in this mysterious medical technique, and it became a hot topic of public opinion among doctors and citizens. Many San Franciscans also rushed to the acupuncturist clinic for treatment, making them crowded. Acupuncture and Chinese medicine became important topics the media ran to comment on at that time.
In fact, ancient Chinese medicine was brought to the United States by Chinese immigrants over 100 years ago, but the mainstream medical community has never accepted it. In 1971, a reporter from the New York Times in the United States, Mr. James Reston, used his personal experience of acupuncture treatment in Beijing to deliver a vivid and convincing report on the miraculous curative effect of Chinese acupuncture on the American public. This is the first official report on traditional Chinese medicine by modern Western mainstream media. Reston's report immediately ignited an intense acupuncture fever in the United States and Western countries. The American public warmly welcomed the ancient Chinese acupuncture. It also marks the official beginning of the modern history of Chinese medicine in America.
Acupuncture has also aroused great interest in the American medical community, but at the same time, it is full of doubts. They decided to investigate it in depth. Representative Duffy, advocated by the California Medical Association, introduced the AB 1500 bill in 1972. This is the first acupuncture legislation in California. It stipulated that people without a Western medicine license, called physician assistant, can perform acupuncture treatment. However, physician assistants must perform acupuncture treatment under the direct supervision of Western medical doctors, and the procedure must be completed within an approved medical school and for scientific research purposes only. This is a stringent law.
Faced with the strict restrictions on acupuncture and moxibustion in the new legislation, Chinese medicine practitioners began to lobby Representative Duffy and Senator Moscone. They proposed a series of new bills, such as AB 976, AB 1841, AB 1691, SB 2117, and SB 2118, to improve the status and situation of acupuncturists. Although all these bills passed the California Senate and Assembly deliberations, they were ultimately vetoed by then-Governor Ronald Reagan. Acupuncturists in California had no choice but to go out of business, underground, or even leave their hometowns.
The state government's implementation of the AB 1500 Act is quite strict. According to this new law, the authorities even arrested some famous Chinese medicine practitioners. On April 16, 1974, a well-known acupuncturist, Dr. Miriam Lee, was arrested in her clinic for practicing medicine without a license. A week later, on April 24, San Jose Mercury Newa also carried the same story, criticizing the authorities' actions. The state government's crackdown on Chinese medicine has caused a solid backlash, especially among those patients who have received acupuncture treatment. In the media or letters to Congress members, they introduced their personal acupuncture experience for relieving pain. Many of them collectively protested in court. Afraid of public opinion and the mainstream media's strong attention, the court later dropped the charges against Dr. Lee and acquitted her.
Another well-known acupuncturist, Dr. George Long, who was also arrested in violation of the AB 1500 law, caused even more intense social impact. At that time, Mr. Aubrey Grossman, a well-known human rights lawyer, stepped forward and voluntarily defended the defendant. The heroic barrister went so far as to initiate legal action against then-Governor Ronald Reagan. This drastic response aroused even stronger reactions from citizens and the media. This sensational incident in California caused a strong wave of public opinion and finally made the lawsuit disappear. However, Dr. George Long gained a higher reputation in society.
Barrister Aubrey Grossman is a very famous human rights lawyer. He disagrees with the Californian authorities' suppression of Chinese medicine practitioners and is concerned about acupuncturists' legitimate rights and interests. In addition to taking the initiative to defend the case of Dr. George Long, he also made friends with many senior acupuncturists in the San Francisco area. He also educated them on the necessary legal knowledge, encouraged them to organize, and passed parliamentary legislation to fight for their legal rights, the right to practice medicine legally. In the face of severe oppression by the authorities, intense parliamentary debates, and heavy lobbying actions, especially after some famous practitioners were arrested, acupuncturists finally realized the urgent need to organize. In August 1974, under the guidance and assistance of Mr. Aubrey Grossman, the Chinese Herbal and Acupuncture Association of California was established. This is the first professional organization of Chinese medicine in California. Barrister Aubrey Grossman is a very famous human rights lawyer. He disagrees with the Californian authorities' suppression of Chinese medicine practitioners and is concerned about acupuncturists' legitimate rights and interests. In addition to taking the initiative to defend the case of Dr. George Long, he also made friends with many senior acupuncturists in the San Francisco area. He also educated them on the necessary legal knowledge, encouraged them to organize, and passed parliamentary legislation to fight for their legal rights, the right to practice medicine legally. On December 6, 1974, Senate's old bills were combined, amended, and renamed SB 86. After half a year of tortuous course, it was on June 27 that it successfully passed the entire deliberation process of the Senate and the Assembly. Governor Jerry Brown, who had just taken office then, resolutely signed this historic bill into law on July 12, which took effect immediately. So far, California has become the 8th state in the United States to legalize acupuncture successfully. The success of the SB 86 bill has dramatically boosted the morale of Chinese practitioners in California. They held a grand celebration banquet at the famous Frank Fat restaurant in Sacramento. They celebrated the victory with those friendly politicians, including Senator Mascagni, the primary author of this legislation. According to SB 86, the state government established an acupuncture advisory committee appointed by the governor to manage the affairs of the acupuncture industry. The establishment of this committee marks the official recognition of the new medical profession of acupuncturist by the state of California. The committee will consist of 7 members, 5 acupuncturists and 2 medical doctors. 3 of the first 5 acupuncture members are Chinese. The other 2 acupuncturist members are 1 Korean and 1 Japanese acupuncturist, respectively. 2 Western Medicine Committee members were appointed from Northern California and the different from Southern California.
Although the new law SB 86 gives acupuncturists the right to practice medicine legally, it comes with strict conditions. Patients who see Chinese doctors must first be diagnosed or referred by Western medicine. This system, in which acupuncturists must operate under the control of Western medicine, of course, seriously hampers the development of the industry. The acupuncture community united various political forces to lobby the government to break this shackle. After 3 years of hard work, in 1979, brought forward by the United Acupuncturists of California, with the assistance of the lobbyist Arthur Krause, Congressman Art Torres successfully proposed and passed the Acupuncturist Independent Practice Act, namely AB 1391 bill, in the Assembly. This bill abolished such restrictions and made acupuncturists independent.
Then in 1980, the acupuncture community continued to lobby actively. With the efforts of Mr. Arthur Krauss, the legislative consultant, Assemblyman Knox was successfully proposing and passed the Traditional Chinese Medicine Practice Act, namely the AB 3040 bill. This is an important proposal with a wide range of content and profound significance to the development of Chinese medicine in America because this case upgraded the current Acupuncture Advisory Committee to Acupuncture Examining Committee, which greatly expanded the committee's functions and powers.
At the same time, the proposal legally recognizes that acupuncturists have the status of primary healthcare professionals in California and thus have the right to diagnose and treat patients independently. In addition, the bill expands the treatment methods of acupuncturists. In addition to acupuncture, they can also practice various treatment methods of traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, so acupuncturists in name can engage in the work and functions of traditional Chinese medicine practitioners.
In the early stage of legalization, acupuncturists had another difficulty: insurance companies did not pay for acupuncture treatment. In 1987, 7 different ethnic groups joined together to establish the Council of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine Associations formally. The new coalition's goal is to revise the workers' compensation insurance system law that excludes acupuncture. Mr. Krauss actively lobbied and entrusted Senator Torres to introduce the Acupuncture Workers' Compensation Bill, SB 840. Thanks to the concerted efforts of acupuncturists of all nationalities, the case passed Congress in just 1 year, was signed by Governor Deukmejian, and became law. From then on, California acupuncturists were listed as physicians in the workers' compensation system and had the right to diagnose and treat work-related injured workers independently.
The entry of acupuncture into the workers' compensation medical insurance field was the first significant breakthrough for Chinese medicine to enter the mainstream medical care system in the United States. After another 4 years of hard lobbying, the official medical fees schedule of the California Department of Labor's Workers' Compensation Division was published in 1993. In this catalog, the acupuncture profession has won 5 brand new special codes for acupuncture and moxibustion, giving them a relatively reasonable economic value. This is a historic achievement in the economic field of the industry.
The California Chamber for History of Chinese Medicine has carefully checked all the legal materials related to acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine since 1970 through the archives of the California Congress. There have been about 100 bills, resolutions, executive orders, or regulations with potential interest in acupuncture. Based on these legal documents, a California Chinese medicine legislation history chronology was compiled. This document records the turbulent history of various legislative initiatives and protests instigated by the Chinese medicine community in California over the past decades. These vigorous political actions are of great significance to ensuring the fundamental rights and interests of Chinese medicine practitioners in California, and also the legal welfare of their patients. Fortunately, many influential and friendly political friends of the Chinese medicine community in California have helped this new medical profession develop significantly. Among them, exceptionally fortunate is the former governor of California, Jerry Brown, who loves Chinese culture, believes in Chinese medicine, and has firmly supported the legislation of Chinese medicine for more than 50 years. Chinese medicine practitioners fondly gave him the honorific title of the godfather of acupuncture. At the same time, while the Chinese medicine community has made significant progress in legislative activities, they have also made achievements in improving the level of education. The practitioners noticed that the lack of a degree education was a significant weakness of this profession. In 1982, a group of senior physicians in the Bay Area cooperated with the San Francisco University of Acupuncture and Chinese Medicine to prepare to establish the university's graduate school. It opened the Oriental Medicine Doctoral Program course. Admittedly, as a new bold attempt, it inevitably has some deficiencies. Still, It has indeed played an important role in promoting higher education in Chinese medicine in California. Since then, the California Acupuncture Board has gradually increased the educational requirements for the acupuncturist license exam from less than 2,400 to more than 3,000 hours. At the same time, many colleges in traditional Chinese medicine have successively opened doctoral courses of more than 4,000 hours. People can expect that through the gradual popularization of doctoral education, TCM education in the United States will eventually be in line with the education standards of other medical professions in the United States and integrated into the mainstream Western education system. Any discrimination against TCM should eventually be eliminated.
Implementing specialist education in medical education is a significant development of modern higher professional education. Chinese medicine higher education should match this system, and California acupuncture professional education has also made bold attempts. American Institute of Chinese Orthopedic Medicine, established in 1997, trained the first batch of board-certified TCM orthopedists in the United States. This progress has also positively impacted the establishment and implementation of doctoral and postdoctoral degree programs in the education of American TCM colleges.
Through the development of the Chinese medicine profession in California largely depends on the efforts of active legislative lobbying. With the growth and maturity of the Chinese medicine industry in California, practitioners have realized the importance of unity from decades of bumpy legislative struggles, especially the process of lobbying friendly politicians.
Established in 1974, the California Chinese Medicine and Acupuncture Association, the first professional organization for Chinese medicine in California, who made significant contributions to the successful legalization of the acupuncture profession in California, as well as to a series of major acupuncture legislations that followed. Over half a century of arduous development, it went through splits and reorganizations, and eventually evolved into the strong American Association of Chinese Medicine and Acupuncture. She is carrying forward the predecessor's determination in promoting Chinese medicine in the United States. In 2015, the California Licensed Acupuncturists Association and the United California Practitioners of Chinese Medicine merged to form the American Association of Chinese Medicine and Acupuncture, ACMA. Through 5 decades of unremitting hard work, the Chinese medicine profession in California has developed a relatively comprehensive legal and management system. It also has a complete higher education and licensing examination system. It has become a young and recognizable medical profession in the United States. Obviously, ancient Chinese medicine from the East was eventually integrated into the modern Western medicine system. What a great accomplishment!